oh my God, oh my God, you know, and I jumped up and I was telling my mom, there's a Bigfoot standing over there. And
last week, I went on an incredible hike over on the east side of the mountains. If you didn't know, there's a couple of ladies over there that have their own YouTube channel called the Pikuni Bigfoot Storytelling Project. And it's an awesome channel. You should really check it out. I'll put the link for it in the show notes. Anyway, myself and several others met up with the owners of that channel, Lailani and Carrie Lynn, and we did a Bigfoot hike. So join me as we tour this beautiful land and hear some stories about Bigfoot. And on this hike, we were given a sneak peek about a video that they're currently working on that you should definitely subscribe to their channel so you don't miss this video, because they have some very compelling evidence about the existence of Bigfoot, and you really need to check this out. So I highly recommend you subscribe and even hit the little bell so you don't miss any of their videos, because this one's pretty amazing. So let's head over the mountains and check it out. So we all met in Browning the morning of the hike, and there were 7 people total on the hike. And we got in our cars and headed straight west on Highway 89 towards Kiowa Junction. And I kind of talked about that area a little bit in my video I did last week about St. Mary. But as you can see, this Highway 89, you're heading straight towards Glacier. And I had never been on this part of the highway. I've been to Kiowa Junction, but then there's a pass that goes over to East Glacier. But I had never been on this road, and it is just spectacular. The beauty out here is pretty unknown because most people head into the park on the west side, but this side of the park is just spectacular. Just looking at the Rocky Mountain front and looking at the way Glacier pops up out of the prairies. It's a beautiful part of the world. So once we got to our starting point, we spent most of the day hiking, and in order for this video not to be 8 hours long, I've just cut it down, and we're going to listen to Carrie Lynn tell her Bigfoot stories as I show you parts of the hike that we did. And let's start out by meeting the 2 hosts, Lailani and Carrie Lynn, and then we will go into her stories and show you the hike.
Okay, I'm Lailani. I'm with the Pikuni Bigfoot Storytelling Project YouTube channel, one of the Sasquatch aunties.
And I'm Carrie Lynn, and I'm her cohort. And we love searching for Bigfoot.
Today we're going to do a Sasquatch hike here on the Blackfeet Nation homelands, our Sitsugaitatabi homelands here near Glacier National Park. And we're really excited about a lot of the folks, some of the followers of our channel, and just some of our local folks that know about us, know what we're doing. We're pretty excited that they're out to support us. And so we're going to go on a really fun, cool hike today. Carrie Lynn, you have anything to say about what we're going to see and what we're going to do today?
I'm just excited. I'm just excited to get out and, you know, and just to share stories and to hear stories, because some of the people that are going to be hiking with us today have their own encounters. So I'm anxious to see what they have to say too.
Here we go.
And then when we got up here, we would hear things, but we didn't really attribute it to Bigfoot. You know, we just kind of didn't know what it was or anything like that. And one morning, when this was probably in 85 or 84, because I was just about ready to graduate from high school, and we were in Upward Bound, and we had come back from Upward Bound at the U of M, come back for Indian days, and I didn't want to camp, so I told my mom and them, come after me. And so they came in after me and came out here and went to bed. And early in the morning, must have been about 5 in the morning, we heard this scream. And this scream it came from this direction, and it was loud. I mean, even though it was at a distance, it just woke me out of a dead sleep. And it was kind of like, and it went on forever. And then finally it just kind of started to taper down, and it was like, all the way down. And then at the end it just kind of made like kind of sound like a laugh, you know. at the end of it. And I just laid there with my eyes open. I was like, holy cow, what was that? You know, and then I ended up falling back to sleep. And when I got up the next morning, I kind of forgot about that sound. I was up, and then my mom got up and she was like, man, I heard a weird scream. And I was like, you heard it too? And she's like, yeah. She said, it woke me up. So that's when we started to kind of like be aware, like, are the sounds we're hearing, are the things that we're witnessing, could it be Bigfoot, you know? And because we had already heard stories from years ago. And I always remember it was July the 1st, 1999. Everybody had left, and the only ones at the house was me and my mom. And we were sitting at the table, and our kitchen window was a huge window, so you could look out and you can see all across here this area. And so we were just drinking coffee and visiting, but we kept watching the cows over here. So you see where Nita and them's trailer is, and there was a lot of cows right in this area here, and they were running around and just acting really strange. And I was laughing at them, and I told my mom, I said, boy, that seems odd to see those cows acting like that. And I was thinking maybe a bear was around, you know, and it was kind of scaring them. So I kept looking to see if I could see like a bear or something. So they would run. There's a fence line running alongside of the road. I don't know if you can see it here, but they would run up that fence line, they would run back down, and then this, see the little road going back to their trailer? There was a cow that came running up on that little clearing there. And I didn't remember this till my mom told me. She said, remember when that cow ran and it just ran into that fence? And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because we saw one of the cows come down and they just hit that fence. And then that's when we were really like, cause something's going on with those cows. And so that cow went up on that little clearing where that red truck is. That little clearing there, it got up there and it looked, now there's a bigger clearing back there. You see that bigger clearing behind the trailer house? But right there is where I saw the Bigfoot. And so I was looking straight across, and where the pine trees are, it was really a clear opening. You know how they put corner ties for fencing? There was a tie in the ground there. And so behind that tie, it was kind of like a little hill like this, that Bigfoot was standing there. And it was standing like this, and it was just looking like straight, like toward our house. And then I was just like, oh my God, you know, and I jumped up and I was telling my mom, there's a Bigfoot standing over there. And because I knew how big it was. I knew it wasn't a human, you know, I knew it wasn't a man or anything, but it wasn't bulky, you know, it wasn't like really bulky, but it had wide shoulders, it was tall, and it was black, really a black color. So I'm trying, like by then we're like both up on our feet, we're both looking out the window, and my mom's scanning, and I'm not scanning, I'm just got my eyes fixed on the Bigfoot. But I'm trying to show her, you know, I'm like, but when you're looking at a landscape like that, you know, and you're trying to show somebody something, sometimes they can't see it, you know, and I'm like, it's right there. But just by that time when I'm trying to show her where it is, it turns like that. And it starts to walk back into those pine trees. So as it started to walk back, I turned, and my dad had a pair of binoculars like this sitting there, and I grabbed them. So I put them up, and I was looking, and then I spotted it just as it was going into the trees. So I got to look at its body, you know, but I didn't see the face because it was kind of like this. And I saw most of like kind of this side and the back side of it. And then that's when I saw that it had hair on its body. So by that time me and my mom were in like pandemonium. I was hollering, and it was kind of chaotic there for a few minutes. And later on, after we kind of calmed down, my mom said, maybe you saw a bear, because she didn't see it at all. I said, no, it wasn't a bear. I said, this thing was upright, it was on two legs. And she said, because I saw, she said, over this way, and she was showing me, not far from where it was standing on this side, she said she saw two little things. She said, and they were like kind of like that, and they went into the trees. And she thought they were like cubs, but as we kind of calmed down and started to talk about what we experienced, she said, you know, the more I think about it, she said, those things didn't run like cubs. She said, these things went like monkeys. She said they were moving like a little monkey. In August of that year, our dog brought up a leg, and it was a little leg about this big. It had all the fur off of it, but you could see a little fur at the padding of the leg, and the foot was probably about big as my hand. And then right in here, it kind of had like little webs. At first, we kind of thought maybe it's a beaver. So anyway, we called Fish and Game. They came up, and later on, I found a little rib cage. I found a rib cage and then the backbone. And so Fish and Game came and took them. And then they said they would get back to us on what what it was, because we had no idea what it was. So they took them and they said, we'll get back to you on what it was. And they never did. So we went and asked them for it back. We was like, can you give us the remains back? And they said, oh, yeah, we'll have to see our boss. They never got back to us. So we called them again and we was like, did you talk to your boss and get to give us the remains back? Because they wouldn't tell us what it was. They didn't tell us they identified it, nothing like that. They wouldn't give it back. And so we went to the council and we told the council that we wanted those remains back. So the council got on to Fish and Game and told them, give those remains back, to Hiram and give those remains back. And they even went against, they told the council, oh, we threw them away. We no longer have them. And so Sassy Running Crane was on the council at the time. He said, well, then did you identify it? Because that's what we told Sassy. Ask them if they identified it. So he told them, did you guys identify the remains? They said no. So we never did get a clear answer from Fish and Game as to what it was. They refused to give us the remains back. But it was a few days later, our dog drug the other leg up. So at least we had one leg. And then my dad wrapped it because it was stink. It was really stink. So he just kept wrapping it in plastic, and they froze it. And when we froze it and we put it in the freezer in our basement, we started having a lot of weird stuff going on. We were sitting there one day and something just hit the back of our house. Just like something slapped it, boom, like that. But so we started having these weird stuff going on. And then my mom said, she told my dad, I think it's due to that foot we have in the freezer. And so my dad said, I think we need to just bury it. And he said, because if it is a Bigfoot foot of a baby, he said maybe that's why they're hanging around, and we're having this extra stuff going on. So my dad took it out and he went and he dug a hole and he buried it. After we buried it, the activity kind of stopped happening as close to our house. We didn't have things going on. But so that's kind of the story and the things that were kind of going on at the time of my sighting. So from then on, it just kind of it just made our family more curious as to, because we still don't know exactly what they are. I can't say I believe Bigfoot's this or Bigfoot's that, but it just made us curious as what are they? What is their life like? What's going on? And that's when, like Lailani said, we started our family started to search and look, and when we would hear of sightings, we would go there and kind of look around and stuff. And then that's when we started finding tracks on this property. We started running into Bigfoot tracks. So that's why we did this hike here, because it's so many sightings and so many things that we've experienced here.
Thank you for watching our video. Please call, text, or email for more information, and don't forget to watch our other videos about Montana.